Hi there, today I'm going to give a summary and review of the film The Final Girls from 2015, which I came across on Netflix. It may be available on other platforms, and was drawn in by the description, which referred to 1980s horror flicks, which I basically grew up on. So, on with the plot. In the opening scenes, we learn that Max Cartwright is grieving for the loss of her mother, who was an actress best known as Scream Queen Nancy in the 1980s horror slasher flick Camp Bloodbath, and also its sequel. 3 years later, she's studying at college with her friends, and her best friend Gertie's stepbrother shows up one day and he persuades Max, against her better judgment, to come along to a local film festival, which is featuring the now cult classic Camp Bloodbath. During the film, the theatre has to be evacuated. So in the panic, Max and her friends find their way onto the stage and to safety. However, the next thing they all wake up, and it doesn't take long for the group to realise that they've actually arrived in the world of Camp Bloodbath. The group learn of the legend of Billy Murphy, the psychopathic murdering villain of the piece, and the group band together to fight back using their knowledge of the film and of popular horror tropes. They follow something of a madcap adventure while the group pursue their aims. And also it gives Max a chance to interact with her mother, albeit in an alternate universe. Now, I approach this film with caution, as I've had a lot of disappointments on Netflix and Amazon recently, so I wasn't, expecting very much at all. However, I was very pleasantly surprised as I found an entertaining tale that was actually quite endearing. The acting was good and it was decently scripted, and it was really quite amusing in places. It wasn't side-splittingly funny, but it was enough to sort of, elicit the odd chuckle here and there from me. It plays on exaggerated 1980s horror cliche characters, but this one of the things I really liked about it, because it took me back to another time when I was a young adult and I was glued to these type of films. So I definitely felt a pang of nostalgia there. Although I do find it mildly irritating that the clothes and fashions don't necessarily match the era in the film. Camp Bloodbath itself is set in 1986, but I felt that the styles were really from 5 or 6 years earlier. It was well paced, and I found that to be a relief, as so many films I watch these days, there's about 15 minutes where it really sags, and at the end of it you feel that the film could have been shorter by that length. But actually I was really entertained throughout the duration of this film, and at the end felt a little bit deflated because I found myself wanting a bit more. I did actually try and look for a sequel, but none seems to have materialised, which was a bit of a shame. It probably won't make your top 10 all-time greats, but it's a really nice little horror comedy that will lift the spirits for a time. By the way, although it centres around a violent horror film, there are violent acts, but there's no gut-churning gore, just in case you were expecting that. It reminded me a little bit of Happy Death Day, so if you liked that, you'll probably like this. And overall, it was an entertaining way to spend an hour and a half. And if you're looking for a bit of horror escapism, you won't go far wrong with this. Thank you for watching, and if you liked this video, please like and subscribe. And until next time.